How's it, everybody? Welcome back to the Rocky Fern. My name is Luke, and I have OI Type 4. Today's very cool, very spicy episode. We're checking out this Euphorbia. This is Euphorbia resinifera. Let's get into it. Euphorbia resinifera has such a cool ecology to it. So amazing. It's very unassuming looking succulent. Euphorbia being probably the second largest genus of flowering plants out there behind orchids. They're huge, up to 9,000 different species worldwide. This may be the original Euphorbia that was ever described in 25 BC. It is definitely one of the oldest used euphorbias. They're also known as spurges. A lot of spurges from around the world are very toxic. However, a lot of ancient Greeks and Roman civilizations did use them for medicinal purposes. They used what was called euphorbium as a way to purge the system and to get flush toxins and different things like that. I'll post some close-ups here. We'll kind of dive in. This is just a Google search of Euphorbia resinifera. It's also known as the Moroccan mound, as you can see here. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Super easy to grow, super hardy. It does grow these amazing mounds that you can see here. Typically 24 inches tall, but upwards of 7 feet plus across. They grow in the Atlas Mountains of Morocco, which also has a really cool ecology, with the Atlas lion and several different endemic species that are there, plus the all human history that has been in and out of the Atlas Mountains. Very interesting. This plant is incredible. I do believe it's dioecious, meaning that the plants come in either a male or female, and you need both to produce viable seed. But they produce these very typical yellow euphorbia flowers that are small. And I will post some pictures here of my personal individual plant that has some really nice modeling on the dermis. And the new thorns, when they come out on a new growth, it is buckskin brown, and then they kind of fade out to that bone gray color, which I think is really pretty. So I got this plant off an Etsy shop called California Dreamin', 2Es. I had a couple other cactus came in. I really enjoyed the experience. It was a very big plant. This plant is very, very common. You can get it at a lot of large box stores. I wasn't able to find any here in Kaua'i, but that doesn't mean anything. Kaua'i being an island is kind of harder to get certain things in other places in the country. But with that being said, it's a very common plant. And what is striking to me about this plant is its toxicity. So the resin that can be found in this is typical of a lot of spurges, a lot of euphorbia. They have this white, milky latex sap. But this thing packs a punch. If you're a pepperhead, if you're familiar with peppers, you guys are familiar with the Scoville scale. The hottest pepper in the world right now is Pepper X, and it's like it's sub 3 million Scoville, okay? This plant is 16 billion with a B. 16 billion on the Scoville scale. Huge. I mean, exponentially gigantic compared to Pepper X. And so you get a lot of medical research being put into the resiniferous toxin or resiniferotoxin being used as an analgesic, something that helps relieve pain, which is kind of crazy to think that this absurd amount of capsaicin analog is being used mainly for defense, obviously, but is being used now by humans as a way to prevent pain or to help mitigate pain. So this is insane. Now, why this plant evolved such an extreme counter to herbivory, more than likely, and it just happens to be 16 billion Scoville, is unknown to me. But you'll hear a lot of times that there's a cactus out there that has this resiniferotoxin, but because Euphorbia lots of times gets misnamed cactus, it's not a cactus, it's a euphorbia. So euphorbia are found worldwide. Cacti are only found in the New World. Cacti have spines, which are modified leaves, whereas euphorbias have, if they do have thorns, thorns are modified dermal tissue. So very, very interesting difference there. They've evolved, in very similar habitats and produce very similar growth structures, but they are completely different plants, completely different genuses, families, and everything like that. So very interesting. This plant is incredible. So when you are transplanting this very common everyday plant, you must take extreme caution. Unlike most Euphorbia, where you do take caution, take extreme caution when handling and transplanting these. If you're going to be dealing with any sort of propagation, wear gloves. Please wear gloves. The resinifera toxin that is found in the latex of this plant, if it gets in your mucous membranes, your eyes, your skin, your mouth, it is going to be a horrific day, a horrible, horrible day. Some of the symptoms I've read are joint pain, bone pain, limb pain, extreme malaise, fever, vomiting, just really, really ridiculous suffering due to the sap of this plant. So it is gorgeous. It's beautiful. I would love to grow an enormous mound of this. I think that would be incredible. But just treat it with caution. Definitely be careful with it. It is a very cool plant. You can see from the dorsal view that they definitely grow in a column-like structure. That mounding thing is very cool. I do love coral reefs and the way they look, and it would be very cool to kind of replicate that in a zero-type scape in your yard. And for those who can do zero-type, and for those of you who can grow this outdoors, I think this plant would be amazing. But just be extremely careful with the sap, of course. If you own this plant, let me know. That would be amazing to see what your guys' look like and your experience with it. But being here in Hawaii, I definitely keep it out of the rain. I have it covered. It gets watered very infrequently, and it's doing a stellar job. It does love the long days of full exposed sun. Of course, we are like 11B here, but our temperatures rarely get near 90. I mean, we're at 88 for most of the summer when it's at its hottest. We obviously do have high humidity, but I have dropped as low as 25% humidity on super hot, very arid days that are very windy. And this plant seems to be going really, really well. If you have dealt with California Dreamin' off of Etsy, let me know. They're great to work with so far. I haven't had any issues, but they sent this monster plant. It's a beautiful, beautiful plant. And we're doing a lot of different things on this channel. We're doing a lot of painting. We're doing a lot of woodworking, a lot of plants. If you like what you see, definitely give a thumbs up. Subscribe, because that helps out the channel. It's been pretty awesome to see this channel grow the way it has. And until next time, we'll see you on the next adventure.